From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
Hey folks, good evening. It's 9:01 here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center, taking a look at what we can expect downwind from this pretty robust line of storms moving through currently in Lawrence County down in Alabama. We got this new warning extending out into Morgan County and Limestone County, goes until 9:45, primarily for these damaging winds in this Boeing segment moving right into Moulton right now. Damaging winds 60 miles an hour, maybe even up to 70 miles an hour as that continues to surge on out. We've gone ahead and trimmed back Lauderdale County. The National Weather Service has out of this warning, at least in terms of from downtown Florence north, so up towards Rogersville, Lexington. You're not in this warning anymore. You're not seeing those severe conditions. That's really consolidating here again into eastern portions of Colbert County, primarily Lawrence County right now in Alabama. I'm going to go over to the radar. We'll take a look here, dissect this storm just a little bit and see what we have ongoing inside of it. And we're currently looking at the Columbus NEXRAD, and it has a pretty good view into the core of this. It's been looking pretty sharply right into the middle of this, and that's where these high winds are. Taking a look at base velocity right now. We're getting a little further away from this radar, right? The storm is moving further and further away, but we still have a pretty decent sense of what we're looking at here. You got those winds, 58 miles an hour. We're probably seeing a lot of that translate down near Hatton, Moulton, Landersville, Youngtown, Highway 24 going out here. Matter of fact, let me switch to the Huntsville radar. And yeah, we kind of see the same general signature, only the colors have flipped because we're now looking inbound. So we're going to be watching this area for winds 50, 60 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour even possible here. That is the area to watch for those maximum damaging winds. It's kind of messy back in here, but you do see that general bowing structure kind of tucked away in here. That's where you're going to get those maximum gusts, right? Now, out ahead of it, we still got some more storms developing, right? So if we take a look at the lapse over the last hour or so, you can kind of see how the storm is propagated. We had this initial batch of line of storms really moving north, really moving east more than anything to the north. And then to the south here, we had these moving northeast, right? So see how that kind of makes sense? They kind of combine there and then they surge out, right? So we got this constructive interference, so to speak, really is one way to put it, in Lawrence County, Alabama, not Lawrence County, Tennessee. This is working in the favor of the storms right now. That really is kind of the best way to put it. Not so much in the favor of those of us who are hoping to kind of get rid of these storms early. But these have been pretty notable in the sense that we have had gusts maybe 30, 40 miles an hour sometimes. We've also had scattered gusts higher than that. But even in these areas where we've only had gusts 35, 40 miles an hour, we've been hearing reports of damage. So it's not going to take a 60 or 70 mile an hour gust to maybe take down a tree and maybe even knock it down onto a power pole, right? It's not going to take that because we're very saturated out there with all the rain that we've been getting and all the rain we will continue to get over the next several days. You know, like I said, 40 miles an hour will do a tree in if that ground is wet enough, and if that tree is weak enough, it can knock it over in pretty much no time, right? So we'll have to watch that very, very carefully in the sense that even storms that are not necessarily up to severe criteria might very well do some damage across the Tennessee Valley here. So you can only imagine when we get these gusts 50 to 60 miles an hour what that's doing. And even behind these storms, we have very persistent winds up to 30 miles an hour, persistent for several minutes. So that definitely doesn't do any favors as to helping these trees stay up. So we have to watch that very closely. Switching back here to the radar, taking a look at conditions still here in North Alabama. This is what we're watching. I'm going to go ahead and draw a little path out here for you at the leading edge here in Lawrence County. Kind of tricky there, but we're moving generally this direction at about 45 to 50 miles an hour here in this corridor of the warning. 5 points at 9:08, Andrews Chapel at 9:09. Terrytown, you'll have this moving through at 9:11 p.m. Cleveland Springs at 9:12, Pumpkin Center 9:12 as well. Massey and Wolftown at 9:14, Caddo at 9:17, Basham at 9:20, Falkville and Hartselle at 9:22. So we're starting to head into the central portions of Morgan County now, past Interstate 65, Hillsborough at 9:22, Flint City at 9:24, and Trinity at 9:25. So just around and just shy of 9:20. That's when we start seeing it move into the Interstate 65 corridor and east. That's eventually going to be, Priceville's issue, 6 Miles issue, Lacey Springs, Triana, southern portions of Huntsville. Yeah, I do think if this holds together, that'll eventually push into the southern portions of the Huntsville Metro. So we'll keep a very close eye on this over the next hour or so, because I do think the next hour or so is going to be the time for me to watch to see if we get that big batch of winds into maybe Madison, maybe South Parkway, Huntsville there, Owens Crossroads, New Hope. So down the line, we're not done yet in terms of these major population centers. And, you know, if we continue seeing this trend where we get a lot of saturated ground, knocking trees down with 40, 50 mile an hour gusts, that might be some trouble, especially in those populated areas. So once again, we're watching this storm here. This initial warning right here, this goes until 9:45. Very likely we'll see this extended again into Limestone, Madison, and Morgan County, the more eastern portions of it. This is the area we're watching just back into Moulton right now. You can really see that big brighter area of greens. That brighter area of greens is where we're seeing that wind translate down. And again, we're seeing some pretty decent winds in here. Notice the 61 mile an hour there near Moulton. You don't want to take this placement at exact face value, but that general area is what we're watching for these winds. Again, 55 miles an hour, 51 miles an hour through here. So very widespread in the sense that this is probably doing some damage out there in Lawrence County. Now, I want to take a kind of big picture view, right? Let's go ahead and zoom out. As a matter of fact, I'll put on the radar network here. Here's what we've got going on across the area. Heck of a lot of rain behind this, but not anything severe, right? So out towards northeast Mississippi, western portions of Colbert County, Franklin County, nothing going on out here that's too concerning. Just a lot of rain and perhaps an occasional lightning strike mixed in throughout the anvil of this massive rain. Up here in southern middle Tennessee as well. I can hear it on the roof of the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We're getting some rain, we're getting a couple of bolts of lightning, but we're not getting a lot of severe weather. In fact, I'd go ahead and say we're done for the night as of current indications. So southern middle Tennessee, some nice little moderate rainfall, no big deal here. Northeast Mississippi, same story. And eventually these storms will be replaced with that as well. So over the next hour, couple of hours, we're going to slowly, well, I say slowly, pretty quickly, see that batch of storms pushing out, replaced with a light to moderate rainfall. So one more time, we'll go ahead and take a quick detailed look at the storm, then I'll let you go because, again, I don't think this is quite like the storm system that we saw earlier this afternoon. I don't think this is a particularly spin-up tornado type threat. I think more than anything, damaging winds, right? So we're watching this very, very closely. Moulton, pretty much right now, you're going to be getting the batch of those winds, those huge, huge surges, 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, maybe isolated spots up to 70. Especially with those patches of higher velocities, we'll have to watch very carefully. Eventually, again, that'll be moving up 24 down Highway 36 into Hartselle and Morgan County as well. In the 9:30 or so time frame, we'll be talking Hartselle, Priceville, and the I-65 corridor as well. So with that being said, that's the severe thunderstorm warning ongoing right now. We'll continue to see this trimmed back in the shoals and east. The shoals, you're pretty much done with the severe weather here. I think that's all moved off to your south and east. Lightning still continues, rain continues, but here we go. Lawrence County, Alabama, moving into you pretty much right now. Moulton, out towards Decatur as well. So that being said, I'm going to let you go here. We'll go back to standard programming as more warnings are issued, which, you know, look, I do anticipate that to happen. I'll be back with you, live as we continue to get these updates. In the meantime, just stay tuned with us, and I'll keep you updated here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.